Today I'm going to be demonstrating a game called Simant. It was a 1991 DOS-based game that came out from Maxis software. I originally played the game myself on a Macintosh Classic computer. Uh, the game I am going to be playing through myabandonware.com as and it's going to be played in the browser. The game basically has you playing the role of an ant within an ant colony. There are two groups of ants that participate in this game. There is the black ants and the red ants. You play as the black ants, and then the red ants are the opposing side. There is a long game version or a full game version. There's the quick game version. There's also an experimental mode where you are allowed to play with different things within the game, like laying down scent trails, producing additional ants, things like that. It's an educational game. Um, but for today's demonstration, we will just do a quick game. And the game has multiple windows that you have to navigate through. Usually they're not too hard to navigate through, but you do have to understand which window you're looking at. The interface basically has a queen ant, and then you start out as a yellow ant, and you are the leader of the colony. The controls are basically you can double click someplace, and that's where the ant goes. You have additional functions of the ant that can be produced by right-clicking, and you have recruit 5, which means you will recruit 5 ants to come to you from your colony. Recruit 10 ants, where you will get ants coming to you from your colony in groups of 10. Release half, which basically releases half of the ants that you have recruited, or release all, which will release all of the ants that you've recruited. There is also the exchange option, which gives you the option of changing bodies with one of the ants on the screen. In this particular case, I have taken my ant and exchanged bodies with the queen. For the purposes of the game, we really do not want to play as the queen, because if she dies, you lose the game. The objective of the game is to kill the opposing side's queen. And there are basically two terrains that you play in. There is underground and there is above ground. The game obviously started out below ground, and I have moved above ground. And this is a place where you can be killed pretty easily. If you notice, there are two different types of ants in the game, or you can breed two different types of ants. There are army ants, which usually have larger heads, and worker ants. You generally want to play as a soldier ant or an army ant, because they are more powerful and can, if you get into a fight, well, I just thought I had an army ant there, or a soldier ant, but I just exchanged bodies with a worker ant. Here you can see this is a soldier ant and this is a worker ant. So I'm going to exchange bodies with the soldier ant. Another thing you can do with this game is you can pick up pebbles, and you can do things like build walls or barriers. This is usually time consuming, but if you're bored and want to do something, you can manipulate stones within the game. Sometimes you can have a strategy where you can build barriers to prevent movement of ants through a certain area. So, and then you have a small screen display or a small map, and then you also can see a larger map. The black dots moving around are obviously black ants. The yellow dot is yourself. Red dots are red ants. there is also a spider on the screen, which the spider can kill you or it will eat you. And if you want to see a certain area, you can double click on it, and there you see the spider. Another thing, that there is also a caterpillar that comes and goes off of the screen periodically. If you have enough ants, you can attack the caterpillar and kill him, and he will turn into food. You can also attack and kill the spider if you have enough ants. Here you can see the spider is eating a red ant, so that is a good thing. So we will go ahead, and the objective of the game is to gather food for the nest and kill the opposing side. The use of food is what keeps your colony going and growing. So I'm going to demonstrate a recruitment. So we'll go ahead and recruit 10 ants, and you can see that I have 10 ants following me. You can do multiple recruitments of 10 ants. So if you have 30 or 40 ants and you want to recruit all of them, you can do multiple recruitments. So you can see I have ants around me, and they will follow me wherever I go. So in this case, I'm going to go to the food. The food is usually displayed as green dots. And here you can see I'm coming into the screen, and then if you, on the smaller map, and then if you look on the larger map, you can see I've got all of my ants there. I can then release them, release all, and they will all pick up food and carry it back to the nest. And you can see these moving green dots are black ants that have food. The other thing that this will accomplish is these ants are leaving scent trails in the game so that other ants who are out foraging will know to follow that scent trail. You can also, now within the surface viewer, the larger map, you can see other things such as chemical trails. So like the black nest marker pheromone. You can also see black trail markers, which identify where the ants are moving from a food source back to the nest. You can see this for the black, so right there, food trails. You can also see the same chemical markers or pheromone markers for the red nest. And other things that you can see here is you can see the black nest, and you can see the queen is continuing to produce eggs, and those turn into pupa and so forth in the developmental life cycle of an ant. You can also see the red nest, where again you can see the red queen is producing ants. Another thing that you do have to be cognizant of is the fact that your ant requires food. So we'll go back to the surface, clicking here, and I think I was around here. If you double click, your ant will travel to wherever you're double clicking, and you can double click on a piece of food and your health will go back up. You also have a health meter here that shows your health, the health of the black colony, and the health of the red colony. Whenever black and red ants encounter each other, they fight. You can see some of that demonstrated here. You can also change the level of when your ant requires nutrition. Since I just ate, my health is starting to decline slowly, and so I can set my bar to where it'll notify me that my health is low and I can eat another piece of food. The higher your health is, the more capable you are of killing enemy ants. So like right here, I'll see if I can catch a red ant and kill it or fight it. You do also run the risk that you might die, but in this case I killed the red ant. That you also have a corresponding ant in the red nest. It's called the Terminator ant or Destroyer ant, and you can see him right there. I don't think he ever really does much. He just kind of stands there, and he's very hard to kill. but he does exist. He'll stand at the food source usually. And we also check to see the number of ants. So you can see we've got 37 ants in our colony, and there are 10 black ants. So we are being more successful than the oh, well, I was just attacked and killed. So the enemy ant has attacked you after an intense wrestling match. The fiend bites off your limbs, or bites your limbs off. Some of the narration or illustrations in the game can be a bit gruesome. And then you're usually, if there are still eggs available, you are reborn. So in this case, I've been reincarnated, and I can go back up to the surface. Ants will sometimes also exchange food with each other, which you can just see what has happened there. So I'm like getting hooked up like repeatedly. Ants in the wild will do that. So I'm going to go ahead, and since we've got such a large number of ants, black ants, I'm going to attack the red nest. So I have done recruit 10 3 times. That should recruit me a total of 30 ants. And I am going to attack the red nest. So I'm going to take my army towards the red nest. You can see I moved the cursor over the red nest and click to go there. And now I am traveling there, and the black ants are following me that I've recruited. If I can do this right, okay, for some reason my ant has stopped. If you double click, you can move the cursor around, and we'll see what's going on. Okay, so I've stopped there, and I want to take my forces all the way into the red nest because we want to kill them all and kill the red queen. So I usually don't fight because I end up getting killed, and if you get killed, then all of your ants will leave. And you can see the red queen in this patch has died, so I have won the game. And that is the conclusion. I've been discovered by my children, so that will conclude this video.